Are we live yet? We are live. Okay, guys, we're live. We have turned down Zach Wild here. We're getting a little too wild with our. We're getting a little too wild with our Zach. You'll get wild with Zach anytime, won't you? Okay, guys. Loudini Hard Rock and Metal Circus is live yet again, and we're gonna do some. We're gonna fun. This is gonna be a fun one, I think. I think it's going to be an all fun one and all that. Can you do me a favor and tag John Fox?
Yeah.
Or maybe send him the link or something. Yeah. Because he sent me a message. He's like, make sure you tag me or let me know where it is so I can find it. So, okay, guys. We're going to be talking about the best and the worst band names ever. And we have some different categories, and just gonna kind of be a fun show tonight. So
it's always fun.
It's always fun.
Just to clarify.
Yeah, just no different than any other time, right? Always a good time.
Exactly. Chris Thunderwolf is on as.
All right, Chris Tunheimer. Okay. All right, we have everything pretty much ready to go, I think. Okay. We got our background. We got our intro shit. Okay. Okay. I think you coming back. All right, see you later. Let's
Bye.
Well, that was short. Special thanks to Lily V6 for being here tonight. All right. Getting good and lubricated.
Go play with the bunnies out in the yard.
Yeah, don't let
Cosby killed
before
them.
my cat.
Wow.
My dog cat.
She's
My
gonna
cat.
stab
The cat dog
you.
gets them. So, all right, guys, here we go. Let's do this thing. Check. Chicken check. Okay, here we go. Today on the Loudini Hard Rock and Metal Circus, we are talking about the best and the absolute worst band names of all time. Loudini Rock and Roll Circus, Loudini Hard Rock and Metal. That was not the intro. I started the wrong thing, so we got to do the bitch again.
Okay.
Edit, undo, recorded media. Oh, that was crazy. Let's do it again. Here we go. Okay, let me get rid of that. That was last week's podcast, actually.
Nice.
That would have been a little silly to do that. Here we go. One more time. Say this, aren't you happy you tuned in live so you can see the fuck-ups? Here we go. On today's Loudini Hard Rock and Metal Circus, we're talking about the best and the absolute worst, most ridiculous, outrageous, stupid, silly, or just plain dumb band names of all time. Stick around. You're listening to the Loudini Rock and Roll Circus, changing rock history one podcast at a time. Hello, everybody. It's the Loudini Hard Rock and Metal Circus. My name is Lou Lombardi, a.k.a. Loudini, and sitting with me, right next to me, actually, in the co-pilot's chair tonight is Lily V6 of Rock Rage Radio fame and all kinds of fame.
Oh, yeah.
Today's he's our resident rock historian. And so welcome, Lily. How are you?
I'm doing wonderful. How are you?
If I was any better, I wouldn't be able to stand myself. LoudiniRockandRollCircus.com is our website. Please check back often. We are also now on Rock Rage Radio on Monday nights at 11. They replay the show. So those of you who are hanging out with live, you're getting it fresh and you're getting it in the moment, and you can comment and we can talk. But no worries if you are a Rock Rage Radio fan. Rock Rage Radio is committed, just like we are, to great guitar-driven rock. So you can go to rockrageradio.com and download the app. We are also a part of the Classic 92.3 family as well. So we'd like to thank all our affiliates out there for supporting us and getting the message out about great guitar-driven rock, hard rock, heavy metal, and rock and roll. So that's what we are all about. As I said at the top of the show there, we're going to be talking about crazy band names, but also really great band names. And so we're going to just be talking about, what it means to name. If you've ever been in a band, and you guys out there that play, one of the most fun things and one of the most nerve-wracking things is naming the band. Once you start the band, like, what are we going to call this thing? And it can be a lot of fun, and it can also be like a real headache. So it's no wonder that there's a lot of crazy band names, because it's just sometimes it's hard to think of anything. And sometimes you think of something, you're being really clever, and it just turns out that it's
just not.
No, it's stupid.
You're just wrong.
Yes. So that is going to be tonight's topic. Lily, what's going on? Did you do anything fun this week?
Since we spoke last, I went to Striper last Wednesday, which was effing phenomenal.
Did you get saved?
I think I did, actually,
Wow.
Which is scary. I was right up front, but Michael Sweet's voice was a little off, but I'm going to tell you what, he didn't pull any Vince Neil. He didn't throw the microphone out. He just said, I'm going to sing, and I don't care. And he sounded great, and I got some great photos. And they were throwing little Bibles out. I don't know if that's blasphemic at all, but it might be, with their name on it. And, yeah, it was awesome. They were amazing.
They throw Bibles into. That's been part of their thing for a long time. Is they throw the Bible.
I didn't get one. They know not to give one to me.
Well, it would like catch on fire if you picked it up.
Probably. But it was great. And then went to the ball game on Saturday. So not much else.
Alrighty, so.
But I will be going to Sammy Hagar next week.
Awesome. The Circle.
Yes.
And that's going to be where?
That is going to be at Highmark Stadium in Station Square, opened by Night Ranger. Yep.
Wow.
I
what
know.
A great show. What night is that?
Wednesday.
So if you are in the Pittsburgh area, you're not doing anything, you can check out Sammy Hagar in the Circle and Night Ranger. So that sounds like an awesome lineup.
I'm excited.
Speaking of an awesome lineup, we have some great bands for you guys tonight. We've got State of Mind, Silk 9, 13 Saints, as well as my band. So we're going to be doing a little bit of that. But I think who we're going to get started with. I'm going to see what's on tap here. I tell you what, this is a band that I just got introduced to this week. They joined my my Inner Circle group, my private group here on Facebook. If you'd like to know more about that, we'll talk about it a little bit later on. We're going to be partying in the group a little bit later, so we'll give you the link for that if you guys want to join the after party. But this is a band called State of Mind, and the track is War Dance on the Loudini Hard Rock and Metal Circus.
Misery's in the last thing you heard. Yeah! War dance! War dance! War dance! War!
State of Mind War Dance on the Loudini Hard Rock and Metal Circus. And let's go ahead and give the kids at home the link, so they can follow along. If they want to get them a little war dance, a little state of mind for themselves, that is reverbnation.com/state of mind 81. See, this is what happens when you name your band something that is like very common, and you've got to put numbers and everything after it. So yeah. So in any case, but very cool band. They like I said, those guys popped into my inner circle group and shared some of their music. I'm like, shit, it's really good. I'm gonna go ahead and play it. So our topic tonight is band names, and like, it's freaking hard to name a band sometimes. You know, you start a band, and you know, what are we gonna name this thing is always like on everybody's and on everybody's mind. You know, what do we call a thing? What do we call a thing?
When I was younger, I used to want to be in an all-girl band called Dandelion Wine.
There you are.
Because it was my favorite book by Ray Bradbury. That's the only reason. When I was in like 8th grade.
Well, that isn't. I don't know. Let me let's talk about this for a minute, because there's all kind of discussion about this on that thing. I don't know if you've ever heard of it, called the internet.
Interwebs?
Yeah, interweb thing. So, anyways, there's on Spin Magazine's website has a interesting article about this, where they pick 40 great band names. Now, I'm going to go ahead and read their qualifications for what makes a great band name. Perfectly and succinctly embodies the spirit of the band's sound or era.
There's a point system.
Yeah.
Okay.
Graphically or typographically appealing. So something that like looks cool on a t-shirt or something like that, or has some kind of cool lettering or play on, another one. And another one is clever wordplay. So like a play on words, a double entendre.
That doesn't always work.
Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. Creates an image, or is transgressive, like really like kind of offensive, or like shocking in some way, or has a je ne sais quoi, evoking the Justice Potter Stewart defense here. Honestly, no one needs to think very hard to know that Slayer rules. So those are the kind of things I think to me made sense as to why but then again, I was thinking, let me just think of like, here's a band name that like I was thinking about when we started talking about this whole thing, and it's the Police.
Okay.
But the Police have never done anything with the Police thing. Like, for an example, like
it's pretty plain.
What I'm saying is, though, like, they never did an album called "You're Under Arrest."
Right.
Or,
no, they didn't do.
Like, see, I thought they should call their live album "The Police Booked."
They didn't theme it. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, like they should, they didn't come out like in police uniforms, or dressed like Keystone Cops or something like that. They didn't. They just called themselves that, and that was just the name. So, like, I guess I have a kind of like corny sense of humor at times. So maybe I would if I was in the police, I'd be like, hey, let's dress like cops.
Well,
And I
see,
would've
the
gotten
village
fired.
people already did that.
What was that?
The village people already did that.
Well, one guy dressed like
They all did costumes.
So they didn't really play up on the police imagery, or even they don't even really have any songs that like even
Nothing.
relate to being a police officer, or they don't sing "Breaking the Law" or anything like that. So it's one of those. So is that a good name or a bad name?
I think it's a forgettable name if you think about it. I guess that's
But
pretty,
the band-
that's pretty bad. The band's great.
Huge,
Yeah.
huge. So it goes to show you can have a stupid name,
And it's okay. It'll work.
like the Beatles.
Yeah.
Really, like.
That's kind of corny.
Yeah, but it was
But
the
it's
60s.
cute and it works.
It was the
Yeah.
60s too. You know.
Fine.
You know.
I mean, it held up, obviously.
So we want name. So we're looking for something that kind of embodies the spirit of the. Like, does it work? Like last week we were talking in the after show, and Keith said, "Well, what about a band like Ween?" And that's a silly name. However, the band is kind of quirky.
Yeah.
So if you're a quirky band, a quirky name, right, kind of like works for you. You wouldn't want to play music like Guns N' Roses and call yourselves Ween. You understand what I'm saying?
Yes.
Does that make sense to you?
Yes.
It makes sense to you? Okay. So we're going to kind of like go back and forth a little bit. Yeah. And kind of talk about maybe some fun names and some dumb names, or some good names, some bad, some stupid names, or silly names. I like to say bad names because, I think words like silly and dumb are like more descriptive. So, Lily, let's get on your list. What do you got? What's the first? Let's start with a good. Let's tell a good story about Noni Iris. So, a lot of people from Pittsburgh will get that. If Scott Paulson's watching, he would get that joke, that reference. So, tell us a band name that you think that you have on your list is like a cool band name.
I think the band name Twisted Sister is a great band name. And I actually have some background on all the names too, how they got them. So Twisted Sister actually started out as Silver Star. An audience member referred to them as a bunch of Twisted Sisters, being that at the time, men were trying to look like women, so they were dressed basically what looked like in drag. So hence the name. So they changed the name. And I just really think it works. I think it's badass and works for the time. What was that, the 80s? No, well, they started in 72.
I think that it is a cool name. It expresses their sort of like deviousness.
Yeah.
And I love Twisted Sister.
It
The way
glows.
it kind of rolls off, Twisted Sister.
Yeah.
It has there's a musicality to the name of it.
It works.
And I agree with you. I totally agree with you that I think it's a great freaking band name. Now, okay, so tell us one that's not so great.
I could probably just name those off the top of my head, actually. Well, we're going to start with my bottom here. So, Puddle of Mud. First of all, well, it was named after the Missouri River flood of 93 and left their practice area a mess. But regardless, it's an okay name, but do we have to put the 2 D's in it? And couldn't you just say, like, Mud Puddle? Or, like, couldn't you just shorten it even more? I feel like it's just... I think it's just too redundant. Too many words and
Puddle
letters.
of Mud.
Yes.
P-O-M. Palm. There's a thing with 3 names that's very common. I've been listening to Octane a lot, and I'd probably say that probably 60 to 70% of the bands that play on there have 3 names.
Yeah,
Have
3 words in their
3
name.
words in their names. It's very...
I just don't think we needed the 2 D's.
They were like a doom band or like a stoner band or something like that,
Yeah, that could work then.
There's a band from Pittsburgh called Molasses Barge.
Oh, I know.
A barge is a big, heavy, slow-moving thing. Molasses is, and they have that
Slow.
big, heavy, kind of doom rock, stoner metal kind of thing. Slow, works fine for what they do. So tell me one that you like.
Cheap Trick. And the reason I like it is because, or the way they chose it. They went to go see Slade. It's another band. the bassist Tom Peterson commented that the band used every cheap trick in the book as part of their act, and they took it from that. And I think it sounds cool. Doesn't necessarily say who they are or what kind of music they do, but I just think it's cool. I think it's just a cool name.
Real quick before we go too further, I've got a message from somebody saying to look at the comments. Is there a problem with the audio or something?
No. It's a.
Why don't you handle that?
Okay. So Chris Thunderwolf would like us to do a shout out to his mother Bonnie. They just had a funeral for her husband Cecil Howard. He's a Korean veteran and a great stepfather. So since Memorial Day just passed, we are going to do the shout outs for Chris Thunderwolf's mom Bonnie.
And Chris,
Mother Bonnie.
we are sorry for that loss as well. And thanks to his name Cecil.
Cecil Howard.
Cecil Howard for the service. Thank you very much for that. Chris is a longtime fan and a good friend. So thank you, Chris, for chiming in with that. And we respectfully give a shout out to Cecil Howard. So I think Cheap Trick is another band name that is really, it works too for their 70s band. It kind of plays on the sort of, what is a trick?
Right.
A trick is a guy that picks up a prostitute and he's cheap. And that, it's like a whole thing, and it really kind of fit with the sort of glam thing that was kind of happening at the time. Although they really weren't really glam.
They weren't very glam.
They had a kind of mix of glam and new wave,
yeah.
kind of.
They touch on it.
Yeah,
not...
yeah, absolutely. Mm-hmm. So I think that it is really befitting that, and I think again, Cheap Trick that just kind of rolls off the tongue, and it's a thing in real life.
It's a real thing.
Yeah. And you could say we did every cheap trick in the book. It's the same way. So there's a lot of cool aspects to it. It doesn't really express the sound of the band.
No, not at all.
But it does sort of imply this sort of sleaziness, which I think a lot of people at the time, the 70s, everybody was doing coke and banging the living crap out of each other. So it kind of works.
Oh, the 70s.
I know.
How I missed that one.
Pre-AIDS. Before there was AIDS, man, there was a lot more fun in the world. So, okay, so now tell us one that you're going like, just no way.
Okay, we did touch on this one a little bit last week, and I do love this band, just to preface this, but it's Def Leppard. There was a time when all these bands started naming things after animals. Rat, wasp, scorpions, white lion,
glass tiger.
So Def Leppard was one of them. I don't really think you should probably be a musician and put Def in your band name at all. Might be a bad idea. He did have it spelled initially the correct way, but he changed it up to be very Led Zeppelin-like because, kind of copied up. They kind of copied up them, but don't put Def in your band name if you're wanting people to.
There's a lot of yeah. You shouldn't put Stank in your band name.
That's not on my list, but I know what you mean.
Booba Stank. Somebody put that in. You don't want Stink or Stank in your band name. I found this great list at digitaldreamdoor.com, and this is like tasteless band names, and I believe that these are real band names. And so we're going to go ahead and I'm going to
I can't.
we're going to go ahead and talk about it and roll a few of these out at you. The Nocturnal Emissions, No Pants Bandits, Nip Drivers, New Riders of the Minimum Wage, Paisley Brain Cells, Pearl Harbor, and the Explosion.
That's too much
for Memorial Day. I'm sorry, that's really sorry.
That's bad
I
taste.
could not resist.
Who on a stick?
Who on a stick? Plump Harriet. Pork corn on the cob.
Oh.
Oreo Speed Dealer. Oh, that's amazing. Oreo Speed Dealer.
Wow. That was not that original.
Oh, God. Sandy Duncan's Eye. I've been laughing about that since I read that about 20 minutes ago. I've just not been able to stop laughing.
Scrotum pole.
Scrotum pole. The 74 Megs of Ryan.
Wow.
Sharon Stone. She Stole My Beer. Shirley Temple of Doom, or the Shirley Temple Pilots. So those are just some fun ones that we have out there. Give us another band name that you think is freaking awesome. That you go like, that just is perfect. There's one I'm thinking of, but I will probably steal your thunder if I say it. So I'm refraining.
I think this is the most perfect band name in the whole world, and it's AC/DC. I think it completely describes the band.
Like electric.
Like their raw energy, power, their performance. Just like that. It actually came from Malcolm and Angus's sister Margaret. She saw it on a sewing machine and suggested the band name that. After that,
the rest was history. Well, also the thing about the name AC/DC, where it may not be as cool as you think. Let me just fill you in.
Go on.
Is that it's also now the younger folks aren't going to know this, but it was a term for people who swung both ways sexually.
I mean, I get that.
Now, and that was in a different era, guys. This was when that was a little more looked down on.
The tea parties.
Yeah, and it wasn't something that was considered like tough and rock and roll to be, being bisexual. It was kind of like, there were some people like David Bowie and people like that kind of put that out there. But for like a tough in your face rock and roll band,
that wasn't a thing.
It wasn't really kind of a thing, So that was a kind of edginess that I think, like a kind of another meaning of it. And some people, I remember when they came, like in the early 80s, listening to them, and I had people say, well, you know what that means, don't you? And I go, what do you mean? Well, it means that they're, they like boys and girls. I was like, what? Not Bon Scott and Brian Johnson and those guys.
They're Australian.
Yeah.
They're behind in the times.
Yeah. So, but in any case, it was just a sort of like other take on that. In the words of Jerry Seinfeld, not that there's anything wrong with that. I'm just kind of trying to put it in
giving
context.
you some history.
Yeah, in context of the time and everything, the mores.
But now
it's like another thing. I mean, Rob Halford, hello, But in any case,
he'll put on a cop uniform.
Yep, absolutely. He should have been in the police. That would have been hilarious. The police go on tour with Rob Halford fronting. That's one of those things we just keep saying. Okay, so what? Okay, so that was a good band name.
Mm-hmm.
What do you have for a bad one?
So this one I didn't know about till last week when we started talking about these bands. I started looking up some names. I'm not even going to need to explain why this is bad. It's the Child Molesters, punk band from 1977. If I have to explain why that's a horrible name, then we should just shut the show down. But their famous song is "I Want to Punch You in the Face," which sounds cool. Maybe they should name their band that instead of the Child Molesters. I didn't even want to look it up. I felt weird putting it on my phone.
Yeah, you can get like. How about here's a band name, Tastes Like Chicken.
I don't want to.
The Baby Won't Eat His Corn Dog.
John Fox said "Gay Bikers on Acid." I don't know. Is that a good or a bad one?
Tracy and the Hindenburg Ground Crew.
Trailer Park Casanovas. About that one.
Transatlantic Chicken Wicking. Number 5.
Where's the number 1 through 4?
Yeah, I know. 20,000 leaks. 20,000 leaks under the sink. Ah!
And we can go all night on this. There's 1,000.
2,000 flushes. Umbrella full of semen. So okay, we're gonna let's because we could go just on and on. It's 9:30. We've only played one band, so this is this is band. We love these guys. Silk Nine, we were big Silk Nine fans here for years. Even before we knew Lily V6, we were Silk Nine fans. But Silk Nine had a big announcement yesterday or today.
A couple days ago.
Yeah, so tell them.
Silk Nine rock band here in Pittsburgh, PA. They are going to be playing Metal in the Mountains in West Virginia. It's a big deal. It's a big metal fest. So it's a couple days worth. I think it's like 3 days. So congrats to them on getting that. I'm super proud of them, guys. So, and I think they're also now on Curtain Call Records.
They are a Curtain Call Records band for sure. So check it out, guys. This is their latest single. It's called "I Won't Carry You." Silk Nine on the Loudini Hard Rock and Metal. band that makes me very proud to be from the Pittsburgh area. Silk Nine, just a great heavy rock band. Let's go ahead and tell everybody where they can find all about Silk Nine. Sorry, getting a little tongue-tied. You can go to silk9.com. That is silk with the number 9, .com. So check those guys out. Just a dynamite, just killer band. Just love it. And I'm still, see, this is what happens, see, guys, when you play nice with people who have podcasts and things. Like these guys invited Lily and I to their CD release last year
VIPs.
or so. And we were with VIPs, and they treated us really nice. So, that goes a long way to, it's sticking in your memory. So just hint, hint, wink, wink, nudge, nudge, other bands out there. So anyways, but they are a great band, as you just heard, dynamite band, and we've been fans for a long time. So silk9.com. So we are talking, this is one of my favorite subjects in the whole world, is band names. I love band names. I think they're, and like, anytime I've ever been in a band and like we had to name the band, like it was always nerve-wracking, but fun too. And some of the band names that like I threw out there that like were just because what happens is you start brainstorming. So you just throw anything out there, because sometimes you'll put two words together and half of this and half of that, and you get a band name. And I was in a band called Petey Gets Around. But one of the names we were throwing around for that band was Dinah Gets a Sore.
That's not cool.
That's terrible. I know. And the guys were all like, oh my God. But they like the name Gets something. They like that. It couldn't be Dinah Gets a Sore. So it ended up becoming Petey Gets Around. And it was
better.
Yeah, and it was the kind of, and that was the kind of band it was. It was like a super fun band. We had like rubber chickens on stage, and it was like real kind of crazy and quirky.
Mm-hmm.
It was mid '90s. We were like alternative.
Did you have long hair then?
I had hair. It wasn't long. So, anyways, but so naming the band can be
Part of the fun.
can be part of the fun.
Also stressful.
It can also, yeah, because sometimes I've been trying to name this project that Jared and Evans and I are doing. We've thrown all kind of, and we keep
Sandwich.
we come up with a name and then we find out somebody else has that name.
Nobody has shit sandwich.
Yeah, no, they do. That's from Spinal Tap.
Oh, is it really?
Yeah, they did an album called Shark Sandwich, and there was a 2-word review: Shark Sandwich, Shit Sandwich.
I had no idea.
Yeah, so, see,
Wow.
There's nothing new under the sun. That's the problem. But anyways, you're listening to Loudini Rock and Roll Circus. Around 10 o'clock or so, we're going to be jumping over to our private group, and you can go to LouLombardiRocks.com, LouLombardiRocks.com, and you're going to get right in. And we're going to be doing, we're going to be drinking and partying, and you're going to get to hear the real dirty jokes. Right, Lily?
Yes.
Lily in the Kiss t-shirt.
Not necessarily a good band name.
I don't know. Is it?
I don't know.
Is it a bad band name?
I don't say it's bad. I just don't. I think it's like the Police.
I actually think Kiss is a good band name in the sense that if you put it in context of the era that they came out of,
True.
and what I like about them, and this is something I really admire about them, at the time when there was the Monkees,
They
the
didn't put
Who, they weren't the Kiss,
Right.
because that would just be like terrible. Some of the names that were on here, some of these bands I've never heard of, but I don't doubt. Like I wrestled a bear once.
I don't even know who that is.
Lauren Moskals contributed that. David Crow says Goat Whore, but
I know who Goat Whore is. Yes. I mean, they're super heavy, so I mean, it kind of, I get it with the whole goat and the Baphomet thing.
Some of you guys I'm going to disagree with. Like, I think that who said
Jet. I have.
yeah,
to
R.L.
disagree with
Johnson says Jet's I think Jet's a great
I
name.
think it's a cool name.
I think it's a very I
That-
think it was a great band
That
too.
one under it, there is a bad name. The one under Jet, under Johnson.
Yeah, I'll say it. Anal Spangler. Alan Spangler said anal cunt. And I don't know. There's all kind of.
There's a lot of anal ones.
Yeah, there's tons of that out there. There's one that's a play on John Mellencamp's name, and I have to go look it up. I can't remember what it's called. I have to find it for you guys. The Butthole, Dan Katura says the Butthole Surfers. That is a kind of bizarre name.
That's actually on my shit list.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Evan Berg says Bitch Killer. That was his old band.
Okay.
I think it's kind of a cool name. Mott the Hoople's a silly name. I agree, Chris. Chumbawamba.
There's supposedly some sort of a meaning behind that, but I don't know what it is. Because I don't care.
Chris Thunderbolt says the. Yeah, it's a kind of a dumb name.
Legit.
I disagree with Loke.
Maybe Loki? Ravano?
Loki Ravano. Loki. From Norse mythology?
That'd be cool if that was your real name.
Metallica. I think Metallica is a perfect
I
name.
completely have to disagree with your thinking Metallica is bad.
Yeah. That's perfect.
That's a great name.
If you are a metal band, like, I'm sure there were probably tons of bands afterwards that were like kind of starting around the same time, who probably even thought that and then realized, oh shit, that's taken. I think that's a... Chris Hunter says, Johnny Rectum and the Inflamed Bowels.
Is that real?
Premature afterbirth on toast.
Is that real too? I kind of want to really know if those are real because I didn't want to look them up. I don't want that shit on my phone.
Oh, good. Michael Thomas Madden says Strawberry Alarm Clock. I think that's a cool name. The Strawberry Alarm Clock was from that psychedelic era, and so I think Strawberry Alarm Clock kind of fits what those guys were doing. I don't necessarily wouldn't put that down, but I think Fred Smith is on with Abortion Fudge Sunday.
Yeah, I can't.
I don't think that's a good one. Ernie Dirt says Uncle Bob touched me. Now, Ernie, I don't know if that was a cry for help or if that was an actual band name.
Oh, Ernie.
But if Uncle Bob did touch you, there's like a hotline for that. You can find it out. Joe Pittner says Resistance 13, but you told me
that's local
his,
guys.
That's his band. So, Joe, we think it's a cool name. Jeff Gardner says Dexy's Midnight Runners. It's kind of a silly name. But that probably has some meaning.
I'm sure it does. I didn't look it up.
Yeah,
but the Goo Goo Dolls.
Yeah, the Goo Goo Dolls. And they named their album A Boy Named Goo. What did you say about the Goo Goo Dolls?
Their name before they were the Goo Goo Dolls was Sex Maggots. And a guy at a club would not put that on their marquee. They had to change the name. So henceforth, the Goo Goo Dolls.
So
I don't know what's worse. Because Sex Maggots definitely doesn't describe the type of music that they are. I would think that's heavy metal, and they're not.
What, Nate, come on, let's tell me one now that's you think is really great. God say
Motley Crue.
Yeah, that is a great name for a band.
That is one of the best names,
and especially
out there.
for that band.
Yeah,
because they were a Motley Crue. Absolutely.
And Mick Mars came up with the name. They were gonna. Nikki Sixx wanted to call him Christmas. I get why. Would have never worked, I don't think, in the long run for them. But Motley Crue is perfect for them. And they, changed the spelling a little bit, put the umlaut in there, of course, and henceforth it's heavy metal. So, well, glam metal, I guess. I don't know what you call them. They don't know what they are either, I don't think.
So now tell me one that you don't think is so great.
Poo-poo.
Okay.
I think the band name, The Presidents of the United States of America, is a horrible band name. I actually like that band, but I think it's too long. I think if you try to Google that shit now, you're going to find all kinds of stuff you don't want to look at.
Yeah.
Like the president. And, of course, when they came out with the name, internet wasn't big then. They didn't know this was going to happen, but it's just a bitch to search.
Yeah, and I think any band name that is also a name of a bunch of other things is really, really
bad
tough.
idea.
I've had bands like Approach Me, playing their music and stuff like that, and I've even said to a couple bands, like when we talked about State of Mind, that's a great band. You guys are an awesome band, but that name is just like that's too many things called a state of mind. So you're very
hard to find.
I mean, it's hard to find when I'm looking for you guys.
And this day and age, you need to be able to
Yeah.
Google search that like that, or nobody's going to care.
Exactly. That's a good point. There's some here I disagree with. Brian Urso, who's a buddy of mine and took guitar lessons off me for a long time. He's a dear friend. I love him very much. But Brian, I disagree with you about the Strokes.
Yeah, I like that name.
I think that's a cool name.
Blind Melon, I agree with.
It has a sexual connotation as well. Like there's I totally think it's a cool name. What were you saying? Oh, Barb Herlejewski says
Blind Melon's a great band, but that name's kind of.
Yeah.
What's it mean?
I don't know.
What is it about?
Is there such thing as a blind Turds of Misery? Jason Pinkney. Oh, that's
Jason.
This picture is floating around the internet. You guys can find it.
I'm messaging you about that later.
Matt Dudic leprosy.
Leprosy like local leprosy or leprosy like national leprosy?